Hi guys, this is Kayla.
And this is Becky, and we're with A Couple of Bees Read.
Yes, and this time we have something kind of special, a little different.
Yes.
Tell us about this book of poetry.
Well, first of all, let me say that I'm not one that reads a lot of poetry, but I know you love poetry because you write poetry.
Well, not anymore.
Well, but you have written poetry. But this particular book, a friend of mine who, when I first became an assistant principal, she was the counselor at the school, and that's how I got to know her many, many years ago. And she is a wonderful Christian woman. And Jackie she's so loving and kind, and she sees the best in everyone, and just an incredible Christian lady. And this book was written by her daughter, and the book is called Loving by Macy Hudgins. And I've been reading it, and she dedicated it to her mother. Aww. And that was so sweet. And it says, to my mom, the one who has been the greatest example of unconditional love. And knowing Jackie as well as I do, I know that is true, because I know her. And so as I read through here, there's a couple of poems that were my favorites. But this one was my favorite, and I thought it was very interesting because what do you and I do? We review books. And the title of this one was called A Book Review. And I think I'll just read it. It's not very long.
Yeah.
And just so you can get the idea. It says, as someone who has never been in love, I do not recommend reading Pride and Prejudice. I read that and I was like, huh? It says, while the book is a wonderful read, it has side effects, just like every medication they advertise on TV. My daydreams are no longer full of what ifs. Rather, they overflow with whens. Jane Austen has turned me into a romantic who writes poems about the love she longs for and plans dates before there is ever someone to take me on them. What am I to do with all of these feelings, these restless stirrings? I simply obey them, for they drive me into the arms of a bridegroom king who has loved me better than any man ever could. I guess I was just too full of pride to see him. As someone who is beginning to understand that what falling in love feels like, I recommend you read Pride and Prejudice. Oh, I thought that was so sweet. And of course, when she talks about the bridegroom king, she's talking about Jesus. And it's just, I know, like, her mother is such a great example of what a Christian woman should be like in life, how you live your life. And it's not always easy, especially in a job as a counselor, working in a school system and doing all these different things. But Jackie has always been that way. And when I read this, I'm like, I can tell who her mom is. And from what I gather, Macy is just like her mom. So that's wonderful. But they're just such wonderful. The Earth in Me was another one of my favorites. I'm not going to read that to you. You'll have to get the book in order to read it. But I would encourage you, if you love poetry, this is a very sweet book, and it's not very long, and it's Macy Hudgins, and you can get it on Amazon. That's where I got mine, called Loving. So even from someone that's not normally a poetry lover, I definitely give it 5 stars. So check it out.
Bye, guys.